What's up, guys? It's your boy Abdullah here from Ather Gaming, and I'm coming at you guys with a brand new deck profile. Before we get into the deck, as always, I want to give a huge shout out to our patrons, all our subscribers, everybody who's in our Discord, people who leave comments down below, and everybody who's in our Facebook, guys. You see the beard over here, you know we're going it out for the Raptors. And finally, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Cartomagica, guys, for getting us all the cards that we need, and yeah, just for being the best sponsor in the world. Make sure you check them out. So now, I wanted to profile a deck that we've been playing for a very long time, and it is Spyrals. Now, Spyrals is a deck that has a very special place in both mine and Hubs' hearts because it's when we started taking the game seriously and competitively during full power Spyral format. Now, this deck is going to be a little spicy because I'm playing pure go second Spyrals, which means I'm going blind second against all these Thunder Dragons, Sky Striker, Orcust, and Salamangreat decks, and I'm just killing them. There's no turn 2 for me. I'm killing them on my first turn. So without further ado, guys, let's get right into the deck profile. And I want to give a special shout out to my boy Ryan. He's been on the channel as well for getting me these cards in German. As you guys will see, we play the triple Spyral Super Agent. Now, this guy is one of the bread and butters in our deck. What he does is basically you can call the top card of your opponent's deck. If you call it correctly, you special summon him, and when he's summoned by the effect of a Spyral card, including himself, you can target one spell trap your opponent controls and destroy it. It's super simple removal. It's a roto target, and this is one of the ways we get our combo going. He's a special summon that we can search out. We play his best bud, Spyral Tough guy, aka Spyral Tough. Tough is very, very strong in the going second variants of the deck because he's a normal summon that can usually out anything. His effect is you can call the top card of your opponent's deck. If you call it correctly, so you call Spell Trap Monster, you can target a card on the field, you destroy that card. So he combos very well with Super Agent because you can normal Tough, target something, find out what's on the top of their deck, then pop that card, special summon the Super Agent, go into your Helix, and just kill your opponent. We play 3 because we want to see this guy. Also, this card is just 1900 attack. It's just like really difficult for a lot of decks to deal with. By himself, he breaks Salamangreat's board like pretty easily because you can like pop, force the Balinks, run it over, and then and there's some crazy stuff that you play in the deck to make sure that he always resolves. So we play those 3 guys. These are really like our big powerhouses for special summons, and this is what lets us play through boards going second. It's the reason why we don't play cards like Twin Twisters and the like. The next card we play, guys, is the Spyral Quick Fix. The card is absolutely insane. On summon, it searches you a Spyral Gear card, and when it's in the graveyard, you can pitch. If you control a Super Agent, which Spyral Tough also acts as on the field and in the graveyard, you can discard a card from your hand, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field, which is fine because we're going to kill our opponents, so we don't need to loop Quick Fix in this deck. To complement Quick Fix, we play the 1 Spyral Gear Drone. Shout out to the misprint. Drone is insane because when Drone is normal summoned or special summoned, you can look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck, rearrange them, which helps you calling your Super Agent and your Tough super easily and super correctly. And not just that, Drone has a secondary effect of you can attribute it and then target a Spyral card you control and a Spyral monster you control, and it gains 500 attack for each card your opponent controls. So you can like buff like Tough up to like 7,000 attack and then just punch your opponent and they just die. The card is nuts. It's not once per turn, so it does come up sometimes where like earlier in your combo you'll normal the Drone, stack their deck, realize you got interrupted a little bit, so you want to give a different top deck. It's one of the ways you can make sure your opponent always bricks. So it's like, you know what one of the worst feelings in Yu-Gi-Oh is when you draw the hand trap as the 6th card. So like your opponent full combos, you draw for turn, you draw Ash Blossom. With Drone, we can do that every single time and make our opponent hate themselves. The next one, if we play, is of course Spyral Master Plan. This card is absolutely insane. Its effect is when it's summoned or while it's on the field, it's a manual trigger or manual activation. You search your deck for a Spyral mission card. There's a bunch of missions, we play them, and this effect is not once per turn. The secondary effect of Tough or Master Plan is when it goes to the graveyard, you can search your deck for the Spyral Field Spell, Spyral Resort, as well as 1 Spyral Monster. So this card is a +3 on its own, and this is how we OTK our opponent and go through and push for game. And not just that, we abuse this card and we generate so much advantage off of it, and that's why like this deck is really unfair. The next one if we play is the Spyral Gear Last Resort. This is the ultimate helmet card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Basically, its effect is you can equip it from the hand or the field to 1 Spyral card you control. That card can't be destroyed by battle, can't be targeted, or destroyed by card effects. This card is insane. We combo this, and it has a secondary effect of you can send 1 card you control to the graveyard, and the Spyral card it's equipped to can attack directly, so you can go like Sleeper and you just swing over everything and just punch your opponent for game. So it's pretty cool. It has some applications in time as well as having applications in setting some combo pieces to the graveyard. The real reason you play this card is for the Big Daddy himself, Spyral Sleeper. Sleeper is insane. For those who don't know what he does is he's like a chaos monster, so you banish 3 Spyral cards to summon him, not monsters, cards. And his effect is that it's a quick effect. You can target 1 Spyral card you control and 2 cards your opponent controls, and you destroy them both. When you equip Last Resort to Sleeper, Last Resort protects Sleeper from dying. And so you literally just have Mega Dryden. because you can pop 2 cards with him every single turn, quick effect, and he has 2800 attack. Sleeper has a secondary downside of when he's destroyed, instead of the graveyard, he nukes your board and summons a super agent from your deck or your graveyard. Which is cool. It almost never happens because you're just going to kill your opponent. But when it does, you can summon out a super agent from your deck or a tough from your graveyard and continue to play. That's all the monsters we play. In terms of Spyral monsters, no dangers, nothing like that, guys. We're just going to go second, try to keep the deck as cheap as possible, and just try to kill our opponent. I also don't think the dangers are that necessary in a deck like this. We're not trying to combo, we're really just trying to kill. And to help us in this go second strategy, we play the triple Ash Blossom. First, 3 Effect Veiler, 3 Ghost Ogre, and finally 2 DD Crow. Now I'm going to quickly get into the applications of each of these cards. Ash Blossom, as we know, is the most generic hand trap in our current format. This is a card that can stop almost everything. You know, it's good against Thunder Dragon, good against Sky Striker, good against Salamander Great, good against Orcus, so we're going to max out on this card. Effect Veiler is similar in that sense that it's good against Striker now, but like a Veiler on a Kagari is a blowout. Good against Salamander Great, good against Thunder Dragons, and good against Orcus. You Veiler Mermaid, they pass. You Veiler Staryuja, they pass. Like, just things like that. It's super good, so we want to max out on it. It's also not hard once per turn, so we do that. Then we play the triple Ghost Ogre. I know a lot of people have been moving away from Ghost Ogre, but just being able to Ogre multi-roll is still insane. Being able to Ogre Mirage Stalio is one of the most insane plays. They just lose at that point. It makes it sound like Wolf and Reincarnate do nothing with it. Also, Ogre-ing Galatea is also just super annoying, so it's like, it's just really good. Like, if it's like super good and it's super annoying against all these decks to deal with Ghost Ogre on certain cards, why wouldn't we just max out on it and just like make our opponent's life hell? Then we play the double DD Crow. This card is also nuts. I think this card is just better than Ghost Bell right now because the only thing Bell has over this is that you can like Bell Thunder Dragon Hawk. But like with this card, we can do like some insane stuff. And that's like, we can banish their Engage, we can banish their Shark Cannon, which is actually relevant because like with our Spyral cards, they can't be targeted for the most part, and I'll tell you guys why later. But like just crowing the Shark Cannon so they can't get our quick fix is relevant. Crowing like the Engage is relevant. Crowing Salamander Greats like Mirage Style, Jack Jaguar when they try to recycle. Crowing the Balinks. Crowing Spinny. And then against Orcus, like when you crow their Nightmare, they're sad. You crow their Harpor, they're sad. You just crow their Symbol Skeleton, or you crow their Dingirsu, they're sad. Like, this card is just insane. Like, there's so many applications for Crow that I feel like you have to play it. So that was all the monsters, guys. These are all the hand traps. We play, I think, like 700 of them. No, we play 11 hand traps, which means that statistically we should open up a hand trap 95% of the time.
Is that calculated?
Yeah, I just calculated it right now. I don't know how accurate I am, but like I always open hand traps, multiples of them, so you guys should do the same. This is how we break boards. It's like, you don't actually want to stop your opponent from doing everything. Like, let them put a monster on the board, and then you interrupt something so they pass on like a mediocre board, and then you just kill them. So that's all the monsters we play. We'll go into the spell cards now. We play the triple Call by the Grave. I know I've talked about this before as a card that it really wants you to push your combos through, and that's when you want to play this card. So in that sense, it's a going first card. But in our deck, it's so key to have our Helix resolve that we really, really, really want this card. The idea is you hand trap your opponent with all your hand traps, and then on their, and then they pass, like they sit on their Ash Blossom and say, oh, I can stop you at least. You go for your Helix play, they go to Ash, and you go Call by the Grave, and you end the game there. That's why I think this card is insane. Also, our deck just generates like 7 cards off of 2. So Call by the Grave is really powerful in that sense. When we're forced to go first, it's also a very strong card. And going second against Orcus, it interrupts their Dingirsu play when they go Symbol Skeleton. So the card's nuts. We play the double Terraforming because our field spell is actually insane. And in the past, people thought that, oh, because the field spell is at 1 now, it's a brick, it's a Garnet, you don't want to try it. That's absolutely not true. The field spell helps us play through Fog Blades, helps us play through, Widow Anchors, helps us play through like Rusty. It helps us play through everything. So this is the field spell. So for those who don't know what it does, when it's like you can trigger the field spell by searching your deck for any Spyral monster. So you play the field spell, you don't have to activate on right away. Activate it, and you say, okay, so you search whatever Spyral card you're missing, you search your drone, you're missing that, your agent, whatever. Its secondary effect is your Spyral cards can't be targeted. Period.
Nice.
Like, it just shuts down Striker, it shuts down a lot of what Salamander is trying to do, it shuts down a lot of what Orcus is trying to do, and it's searchable, it's free. Master Plan searches this card for us. Its final effect is its maintenance cost. We have to shuffle back a monster into our deck, which helps us recycle some of our hand traps. I've shuffled back an Ash Blossom and then drawn an Ash Blossom for turn, like, which feels pretty bad, but like you can still OTK your opponent. The card is busted, guys. It's not one for a reason. We play the double Terraforming because I really do want to see it, because going second, hard drawing the field spell is very useful for us to play through established boards. The next one, if we play, is the 1 Spyral Gear. Spyral Gear Big Red, the Ferrari. This is literally Monster Born, Premature Burial. You can summon a Spyral monster from your graveyard, but it can't be destroyed by battle. So you can summon this guy, you can summon out Tough with this guy, and like your Tough is just out here doing exactly what his name says, being a tough guy, being a muscle prot guy. So the card is nuts because it helps us not only combo, but in certain instances, it helps us extend and it helps us push through what our opponent's board is and grind as well. The next card we play is the 1 Spyral Mission Rescue. Spyral Mission Assault. This helps us search. The Master Plan can search us out. Its effect is when it's on the field, if your Spyral monster destroys a card by effect or battle, you can draw a card, which does come up sometimes. It means Sleeper gets to draw a card every time he pops. But it's the reason we really do play it is so when it's in the graveyard, you can banish it and you can summon a Spyral monster from your hand. So it's just another extender, another combo card. One of the ways we do get in the graveyard outside of quick fix and other discard outlets is the Foolish Burial Goods. We just play the 1 because we're going second, and it's only really useful to pitch like the spell or the trap. So this is one of the ways we can toolbox through our deck. For this becomes a combo. This also helps us make Master Plan not dead. Same with this card because we can get him in the graveyard and combo that way. Now we play all the powerful one-of spells that are limited in our current game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And these cards are all insane. They need no introduction. Monster Born is nuts. It's a combo card. Going second, you can also revive their stuff and combo with it. Upstart because we want our deck to be as consistent as possible. 1-for-1 because this is a 1-card extra link. Like if you play that variant of Spirals.
Without Unicorn.
But in our version of Spyral, this card lets you just OTK through almost anything. And it's just full combo by itself. Foolish Burial, basic, all our cards want to be in the graveyard, Master Plan, quick fix, the like. So we play that. And then Rhoda, because Tough and Ancient are how we win all our games going second, so we really want to see them. These cards are broken, so it just makes our deck better. So now we play some Spice. We're main decking 2 copies of Super Polymerization. This is also one of the most powerful cards in the game. I don't know why it's at 2, should be at 0. Super Poly lets us break almost any board. Our worst matchup is Thunder Dragon variants. And this just says, all right, nice board, bro, thanks, I'll have it on my side. All right, some of the monsters that you can summon with Super Poly are game winning on their own, and it helps us put some damage on board as well. The card is nuts, and we just laugh at what our opponent does with this card. The final 2 cards we play are the Double Trap card. This card's effect is that when you flip it face up, you can, target 1 Spyral card of your monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. It helps us recycle our resources, but the real reason we play is when it's in the graveyard, you can banish it, special summon a Spyral monster from your graveyard. It's not once per turn. So this is how we do combo, how we do play through stuff. If we're forced to go first, we can still combo with this card. This card is nuts. Like we play the 2, and this is the ratio that's been working for me, and I've tested this deck pretty extensively. And this is what I've gone with. So that's the main deck. There's some cards that you guys may have not noticed, and there's no Impermanence in this deck, and there's no Phantasme. Impermanence is a card that I've always, I understand the applications for the card. For the purpose of this profile, I wanted to show you guys that it's not necessary. You don't need to play the card to be able to play this deck. And I know that some of you guys are playing on a budget, so I put Impermanence in the profile, and I say, hey, this is an alternative. And this time, I'm like playing the cards. And I'm telling you, and I'm showing you that these cards are still super powerful and just as strong as Impermanence. And in some instances, even stronger. As for Phantasme, I'm becoming less and less of a fan of the card. Just that I don't think that it's as like insane as it used to be, or like now with everybody playing, you expect Phantasme, and for us, we want 2 Spyral monsters specifically, and not 2 of anything kind of. So we're not like Orchest. If I was playing an Orchest engine in here, I would play Phantasme. The card is super expensive as well, and I wanted to give you guys a list that doesn't play Phantasme, that doesn't play Dangers, but it's still super competitive. It's still a list you can get your invite with, and really dominate your locals. So that was the main deck. I'm gonna go into the extra deck now, guys. I play the 1 copy of Abyss Dweller. Shout out to Dweller. He's been riding with us for time. The card is nuts, and when we go first, we can actually end on a board with Sleeper and Dweller with Deco Talker, so we have like targeted protection. We've got no graveyard for you and double pop. Dweller's just the best rank 4, and it's a 1-card floodgate, so which is why I chose to play it. It's the only Xyz we play. Then we play our Super Poly targets, the Thunder Dragon Titan, Dragostapelia, Starring Venom Fusion Dragon, and the Salamander Great Violet Chimera. This is for Pure Thunder, which is actually our hardest matchup just because they make 2 Colossus Titan, and Titan doesn't target, so he gets around Resort. So we just say, cool, nice Titan, I'll make one on my own. Dragostapelia as well. It's super powerful in that against Danger Thunder, sometimes you want something that's a little more proactive. It does have a negate, so we can put that 2700 attacks relevant. Starving Venom, I've already explained in every single video before that this is how you out a lot of boards. And against Orchest, it's the best card to make against them. In the Violet Chimera, we just fuse away Salamander against the entire board, and we just kill them with their boss monster, essentially. So those are the 4 Super Poly targets. I don't feel like you need to play Mud Dragon in the Swamp. You already have targeting protection. You don't need that. You don't want to be fusing away your cards for Mud Dragon, so it's just too hard to summon that card. And it doesn't have the same impact. Now the next cards we play is Link Karibo. This is to link away our Quick Fix, link away our or our Spyral Gear Drone, and the card is just insane. It does facilitate a lot of combos, and this allows Helix to really do some crazy stuff. And then we have the Man of the Hour, the most broken Link 2 in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh!, and that's Spyral Double Helix. I want you to understand something. This deck was a tier 7, irrelevant table 700 deck, right? Nothing happened, and then Spyral Double Helix got printed, and nothing was the same. Shout out Drake. The card's nuts, so I'll talk about what Helix does quickly. And okay, sorry. When a Link monster has these markers, we call them Helix markers for a reason. So what Helix effect is that when you can call a card top card of your opponent's deck, which this whole deck does, and you can stack it really easily. If you call it correctly, you summon a Spyral monster from your deck or your graveyard. You summon Master Plan with Helix. You search a card with Master Plan, link them away into a Link 3, and then you just go off on your opponent. This card is absolutely insane, and when this card resolves, the game is over. For those who played Spyral format, you remember when your opponent resolved Helix, you didn't have a hand trap, you just scooped your cards up. That's what this is. This is our boss monster, essentially, and this is the reason why we play too, is because if we do get interrupted, having a second Helix just helps us end the game, because we can just summon back resources from the graveyard. You can recycle Tufts, you can recycle Agents, you can recycle Quick Fixes, Master Plans, Drones, literally everything. It also adds the card back to your hand, so you could add Sleeper back and summon it again if needed. Next Link 2 we play is a generic 2. This is B-Cop. This essentially comes up for when we Super Poly, and our monsters are basically serving no other purpose but to be Link material. I wanted a generic 2 that pointed down, and B-Cop is also an effect monster, which means it can ladder into some of our Link 4s that require the use of an effect monster. You guys can play any other Link 2 if you want. You can play Underclock if you'd like. I just like the genericness of the B-Cop. The next Link 2s we play are the Nightmare Unicorn the Nightmare Cerberus, the Nightmare Phoenix, and the Nightmare Unicorn. Unicorn is necessary for when you draw the resort. Now again, guys, I know I talked about keeping this deck as cheap as possible. These Nightmares have been out for almost a year now, so if you guys should have access to them. If not, don't worry, they're all getting reprinted, especially the Unicorn guy. So this is useful for when you draw the resort, you can still full combo and still kill your opponent. These guys are just spot removal that are super useful, and it's just a way to ladder in, and we can make every single one of these cards, oftentimes all 3 of them in the same turn. The next Link 3 you play is Decode Talker. Decode Talker is one of Spyral's best cards. You go Decode Talker, Super Agent plus the Spyral Sleeper, that's 8k perfect, or 8100, whatever. It's game, regardless. And having more targeting protection is cool as well. It protects our resort. The card is just super generic, and in our deck is very powerful, and I think this is a very underrated Link monster, and I just love playing it. The first Link 4 we play is the Borlo Dragon. Card just got reprinted at dual power, and I think it's already got another confirmed reprint in the Revolver structure deck. This is how we break Danger Thunderboards, how we break Pure Thunderboards. It's how we break Salamander. We break everything with this. Against Salamander, you just steal the Braguska, you win the game. The card is just super useful, and Borload is one of those cards where it's I wouldn't play an extra deck without Borload currently. The card's absolutely nuts. And then we play the Big Daddy Borrelsword Dragon. Okay, it's getting a Battles of Legend reprint. This card is probably going to be $5 to $10 when Battles of Legend comes out. I understand how expensive it is right now. If you don't want to play Borrelsword, you can play Utopia double with double or nothing and punch your opponent for 10k. Helix does that by himself as well, and I can show you guys that in the future combo video. This card is insane. If we resolve Helix, we're guaranteed to get Borrelsword Dragon as well as Spyral Sleeper on the board, which represents by itself 8,800 damage. Game ends. It's one of the reasons to play the deck, and it's one of the reasons to play this deck as a pure going second deck. Alright guys, so that was the deck profile, guys. Let me know if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, anything down in the description below. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our Discord, check out our Patreon, check out our Facebook group, guys. For those of you who will be going to Nats, we'll see you guys there. And make sure you guys stay tuned. We're almost at 4K subs. We're going to do a huge giveaway then. And stay tuned for more insane deck profiles that are actually good. I'm Abdullah for Ather Gaming, guys. Signing out. Peace.